The world government, a global regimen which has ruled the world of One Piece for over 800 years since founded by an alliance of 20 different kingdoms. It has since vastly grown in influence and now spans across more than 170 of the world's civilized country, cultivating the amount of kingdoms, serving as the most prominent or possibly the main antagonist for Luffy and every single person in the One Piece world. The world government is largely portrayed as a corrupted entity, particularly through the application of any form of justice. This submission is only granted through the history of the Void Century and the lineage factor of the 20 kingdoms that created this system. Guys, we are going to be talking today about the world government and about all the information that it holds. I will be making a new series. This series is going to be called OP In Depth, where I will be mentioning and explaining all the information that we've got on certain topics that we've seen throughout the whole entire One Piece series. But I will be giving my own sort of twist and information and theory. But for the most part, it will be about what we know. But before we continue on with the video, I just want to say that if you have been watching my videos more than once and you still haven't subscribed, just subscribe. It will really help me out and I'll really appreciate it. I will also be shouting you out in my next video if you comment hi in the comment section below. Like I said in my previous videos, I am going to be doing a 30 for 30 video, and this will be one of my videos of the 30 for 30 video. So just like, subscribe if you want more One Piece content shipped to your YouTube feed. Anyway, I really hope you enjoy this video and let's get on with it. Before we can actually dive into the information about the world government, we first have to know how it was formed. So from what we know, the world government was formed through 20 kingdoms. These 20 kingdoms came together and started a war or had a war with the ancient kingdom to bring it down, and that is how it was formed. Now, while they were forming that, right after the world government created some sub-organizations, one being the Marines and another being Cypherpole. With these two organizations, it would allow the world government to have some sort of power over the One Piece world. These powers will also help the world government create a power structure that will end up leading to the most stabilized and antagonistic sort of force that resides in the One Piece world. Now, what is the power structure that was formed? First, we realized that it was the Marines sort of controlling everything. But then later on down the series, we learned about the Gorosei, or the 5 Elder Stars. With them, we sort of figure out that there's a power structure that the Marines have to follow. And that is that the world government and the Marines have to follow on what the Gorosei say. Now, after that, it leads into the Commander-in-Chief, which before we know it was Kong. Kong was the Commander-in-Chief that sort of controlled the Fleet Admiral and the Admirals as well as Cypherpole. But it sort of throws a wrench in everything once we find out that Akainu is the Fleet Admiral. The reason being is because Akainu seems to directly go to the Gorosei so he can speak about them in certain important matters. Example the whole entire thing with Doflamingo after Dressrosa and Akainu actually went up there. It seems like after the time skip, there wasn't much of a commander-in-chief, or the commander-in-chief actually end up might being Akainu, which he would be working as the commander-in-chief and the fleet admiral, which would sort of make sense knowing that Akainu is sort of an absolute justice fiend and would really not want anybody controlling or overseeing his actions. Now, after all that, it goes with the three admirals. The three admirals prior were three people that we've learned to be the absolute power of the Marines. Right after the 2-year time skip, of course, that has changed. There still are three admirals, but some of the people in that rank have changed. But recently, in the Reverie arc, we have learned that there is a secret leader, a person that's controlling all, and that's Emu. And by the way, if you haven't checked out my Emu theory, go ahead and check out the 3-part series about the Emu theory. But the world government has been hiding Emu and his sort of knowledge and his authority for some odd reason, and created a huge controversy, though this controversy was there before Emu was even mentioned. Now, what are the controversies that are mentioned or actually we've seen throughout the world government and the actions of the world government? So I would say the first one that we should mention, or I'm mentioning, is the warlord system. The first time we've ever heard about the warlord system was from Yosaku. Yosaku mentioned back after the whole entire Baratier arc that there were a system that was built by the world government, and that system was the warlords. The warlords were pirates that helped out the world government so they can obtain more power. Doing this showed us that the world government is willing to go to extreme lengths to actually ally themselves with pirates. And we also end up finding out or figuring out that the world government doesn't mind pirates, but sort of mind something else. Now, later on during the series, we learn about the cipher poles, mostly 9, and later on after that, 0. But 9, cipher pole 9 ends up learning or teaching us that the government is willing to grant certain people power, or in this case, this organization, power to actually kill other people for their own convenience. And then it sort of goes down a little steep hill where it started off with Cypherpole and also the world government not really caring about pirates. In this sense, they were willing to actually bargain with pirates and actually secretly create alliances with pirates and trading systems with pirates. But besides that, it's also the falsities of the Reverie arc. The Reverie arc has created this sort of oligarchy system where people or kingdoms believe that they control whatever is going on throughout the One Piece world. But through Emu, we learned that that is a lie. That though the kingdoms act like they have power, they really don't. And the world government has way more control over all these kings than them. In this case, it would be also the amount of genocide and neglect that the world government is showing to other countries. For example, the whole entire O'Hara incident. In the O'Hara incident, as we know, the world government actually kills the people of O'Hara and completely wipe them out and portray them to be as quote unquote devils, and as well as the whole entire situation with Law's Island, where they're viewed as this sort of cash cow for the world government, and yet the things that they were selling, the stuff that was actually in this location, was a sort of virus or sort of sickness that killed people. And the world government knew that and let it happen until it got out and they completed or end up having a complete genocide upon them. The world government is also known for the amount of controversies through the celestial dragons. The celestial dragons have slaves, are viewed as creators, as people that are superior than anybody that lives in the lower world. And through this, it shows the most amount of issues with the world government, being that they're willing to sacrifice their own laws to benefit in certain circumstances and situations. And by them breaking their laws and also creating issues with certain kingdoms, with genocide and all the controversy that they have formed an opposing threat, people that were willing to go against them. Who are the exact people that will try to forcefully go against the world government? It's not pirates, but the Revolutionary Army, as we know. The Revolutionary Army do what they need to do to specifically go against the world government. They do this so the world government can know that they do not have complete reign over the people. And I feel like this will allow a more substantial war and a future issue that the world government is going to have to end up dealing with. Another opposing threat that we probably haven't fully noticed, but has happened because we've seen it, was the Straw Hats. With the whole entire Enies Lobby arc, we can see that Luffy is willing to go against the world government no matter what. And I feel like they've realized that as well. I don't think that they're going to take it lightly that Luffy shot down one of their flags, has destroyed multiple of their locations, and they're just going to let that slide. I feel like at the end of the day, Luffy will end up being one of their major threats, as well as Monkey D. Dragon. And this is where we'll see better outcome of the war, or what it will end up transitioning to. Anyway, guys, just let me know what you guys think about the topic and your perspective of the world government in the comment section below. This is sort of my first part of my discussion. The second part is going to be mostly about the Marines and how I feel the Marines are going to be portrayed, in the sense how they're different to the world government. But like I said, like and subscribe if you want some more One Piece content shipped to your new YouTube feed, and I'll catch you guys in the next One Piece video.